Hey guys,
Hey.
Buying a property or renting a property in London is crazy expensive on every level. And with more of us continuing to work from home or commuting to London a few days a week, there has been a growing number of people who are moving outside of London because it is unaffordable. Why settle for a shoebox when you can have a bigger house with a garden and pay a fraction of the price outside of London?
Yep, so today I want to share with you guys 10 of the best towns to live in outside of London with close proximity to London. These are in no particular order, these top 10 lists we're doing today, but we've looked at them from different perspectives, looking at affordability, looking at schools, looking at proximity to London, and those kinds of things. We think you're gonna love today's video. There's a lot of detail though, so buckle up, there's a lot to share. My name's Ken, an accountant, former CFO, entrepreneur and investor.
And my name is Mary, a marketer, a former business analyst and a business owner.
Together as a couple, run the Humble Penny and Financial Joy Academy with the core goals of helping you take control of your finances, to grow your money and ultimately one day to help you become financially independent. Let's jump straight into today's video.
Okay, so the first town we're going to look at is Reading. Now, Reading is a large town on the Thames and Kennet Rivers in southern England. It's known for the annual Reading Festival. Shops and riverside restaurants dot the town centre. In terms of distance, it takes 28 minutes to travel from Reading to London Paddington by train. Reading is on the new Elizabeth line. The cost of a season ticket is £5,044 per annum. Properties in Reading had an overall average price of £414,924 over the last year. The majority of sales in Reading during the last year were terrace properties selling for an average price of £353,952. Semis sold for an average of £444,957 with flats fetching £229,771. Overall, sold prices in Reading over the last year were 5% up on the previous year and 10% up on the 2020 peak of £378,767. Now for renters, one bedroom rents for an average cost of £1,128 per calendar month. A two bed rents for an average cost of £1,490 per calendar month. And a three bed goes for around £1,930 per calendar month. For those that are renting, there are 608 properties to rent in Reading and 118 properties listed to rent in the last 14 days. That shows that there's a big rental market there. In terms of crime rate, there are 84 crimes per 1,000 people. For schools, there are 87 schools or colleges within a 3-mile radius of Reading. 15 of them are rated as outstanding by Ofsted. Shopping in Reading is vast and varied, from its brand-packed high streets, renowned department stores like John Lewis and award-winning shopping centres. So in summary, in addition to good schools and transport links, Reading is a vibrant metropolitan town that's home to UK's Reading Festival and growing arts and culture communities. It is becoming more diverse and has well-known chains and quirky independent restaurants and huge retail parks.
Yeah, we love Reading. We've been there. I actually really liked it. Our next town is Dartford in Kent. Dartford is the principal town in the borough of Dartford in Kent. It is located 18 miles southeast of central London and is situated adjacent to the London Borough of Bexley to its west. It takes about 36 minutes to travel from Dartford to London Bridge by train on the southeastern. The cost of an annual season ticket to London terminals from Dartford is £2,804. Properties in Dartford had an overall average price of £426,856 over the last year. The majority of sales in Dartford during the last year were terrace properties, selling for an average price of £490,907. Semis sold for an average of £433,530, with flats fetching £241,346. Overall, sold prices in Dartford over the last year were 21% up on the previous year and 31% up on the 2020 peak of £325,373. Now for renters, one bed costs rents for an average of £1,144 per month, two beds £1,592 per month, and three beds £1,835 per month. And up on the screen is a summary for us. Feel free to pause and take a look. Now, there are 69 properties for rent in Dartford, with 34 properties listed in the last 14 days. They get snapped up pretty quickly in this area. In terms of crime rates, there are 108 crimes per 1,000 people, and in terms of schools, there are 56 schools or colleges within 3 miles of the radius of Dartford. 6 of them are rated outstanding by Ofsted, and 5 of the 56 schools are grammar schools. In terms of shopping, there is an easy reach of the Blue Water Shopping Centre. There's also regular markets on Thursdays and Saturdays and farmers markets on the third Friday of each month. In summary, in addition to having about 6 grammar schools within a 5-mile radius, Dartford is less than an hour by train from multiple London main line stations, plus only 15 minutes drive to the O2 Arena. Property prices are also still reasonable, although rising fast. The area is ideal for couples with children and professionals wanting more space and proximity to London.
Okay, now let's look at Sevenoaks. Sevenoaks is a town in Kent situated in southeast of London. It takes about 23 minutes to travel from Sevenoaks to London Bridge by train on the southeastern. The cost of an annual season ticket to London terminals from Sevenoaks is £4,736. Properties in Sevenoaks had an overall average price of £789,218 over the last year. And the majority of sales in Sevenoaks during the last year were detached properties, selling for an average price of £1,385,198. Semis sold for an average of £735,731, with flats fetching £300,694. Overall, sold prices in Sevenoaks over the last year were 11% up on the previous year and 13% up on the 2020 peak of £697,166. So for renters, a 1-bed rents for an average cost of £1,055 per calendar month. A 2-bed, £1,797 per calendar month, and a 3-bed, £2,038 per calendar month. Up on the screen is a summary of the costs for you to see. Feel free to pause it. Now, for properties listed for rent, so for the renters out there are only 50 properties for rent in Sevenoaks and 17 properties listed to rent in the last 14 days. Most people move here to buy, not to rent, as it's massively family orientated. In terms of crime rate, there are 65 crimes per 1,000 people. There are 24 schools or colleges within a 3-mile radius of Sevenoaks, and 3 of them are rated as outstanding by Ofsted. Sevenoaks also has 7 independent schools like Sevenoaks School, Walthamstow Hall, the New Beacon School. For shopping, Sevenoaks has shop-filled alleyways with big name brands, restaurants and thriving indie bookshops. In summary, with proximity to London by train and lots of green spaces, great schools, Sevenoaks is ideal for couples and families. You will need to have a big budget and you may need the bank of mum and dad to buy a place here. But one thing to say though about Sevenoaks is that it's not as diverse as some of the other areas we mentioned in this video. It's definitely a very privileged area with a lot of senior C-level professionals living there.
Next one is Stevenage in Hertfordshire. Stevenage is a large town and borough in Hertfordshire, England, about 27 miles north of London. It takes about 28 minutes to travel from Stevenage to King's Cross St Pancras by train. The cost of an annual season ticket to London terminals from Sevenoaks is £5,744. Properties in Stevenage had an overall average price of £341,852 over the last year. The majority of sales in Stevenage during the last year were terraced properties, selling for an average of £329,625. Semis sold for an average of £393,231, with flats going for £181,835. Overall, sold prices in Stevenage over the last year were up a modest 2% on the previous year and 9% up from the 2020 peak of £313,548. Now for the renters, a 1-bed rents for an average cost of £1,141 per month, 2 beds goes for £1,199 per month, 3 beds goes for £1,822 per month. Up on the screen is a summary, feel free to pause and take a look. In terms of properties currently for rent, 80 properties are for rent in Stevenage at the moment, of which 32 of those listed in the last 14 days. In terms of crime rate, there are 83 crimes per 1,000 people. And looking at schools, there are 42 schools or colleges within 3-mile radius of Stevenage, and 5 of those are rated as outstanding by Ofsted. In summary, Stevenage is launching a major 20-year £1 billion regeneration programme designed to transform what it offers to current and future residents to make Stevenage into a place where people want to live and work and play.
Okay, so next is Maidenhead in Berkshire. Maidenhead is a market town in the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead in the county of Berkshire. It takes about 21 minutes to travel from Maidenhead to Paddington Station by train. The cost of an annual ticket to London terminals from Maidenhead is £4,436. Properties in Maidenhead had an overall average price of £620,104 over the last year. The majority of sales in Maidenhead during the last year were detached properties selling for an average price of £1,051,003. Semi-detached properties sold for an average of £519,912, with terrace properties fetching £456,678. Overall, sold prices in Maidenhead over the last year were 10% up on the previous year and 15% up on the 2017 peak of £537,784. Now for renters, a one-bed rents for an average cost of £1,141 per calendar month. A two-bed rents for an average cost of £1,199 per calendar month, and a three-bed rents for an average cost of £1,822 per calendar month. Again, we're going to put the summary up on the screen for you to look. Properties listed for rent, there were about 177 properties for rent in Maidenhead, with 30 properties listed to rent in the last 14 days. In terms of crime rate, there were 67 crimes per 1,000 people. In terms of schools, there were 43 schools or colleges within a 3-mile radius of Maidenhead. 10 of them were rated outstanding by Ofsted. That's a pretty high ratio. Now for shopping, the Nicholson Shopping Centre offers a selection of over 60 stores, including well-known names such as Next, WH Smiths, Argos, and much more under one roof. Maidenhead has a wide variety of regular visiting markets, including the Continental, farmers markets, and art markets, offering shoppers a unique experience. In summary, Maidenhead is getting a lot of investment as a result of Maidenhead being a station on the Elizabeth line, and its position in the leafy settings of the Thames Valley, yet under an hour away from London, makes it a vibrant, thriving destination, whilst also being ideal for people seeking more space and good schools.
Right, so if you've been watching so far and got this far and you live in any of those areas we've mentioned, we'd love you to jump in the comments and react. Let us know what it's like to live in those areas, whether it's Sevenoaks, Maidenhead, Dartford, what have you. Jump in the comments and let us know. Number 6 is Epping in Essex. Epping is a market town and civil parish in the Epping Forest district of the county of Essex. The town is 17 miles northeast from the centre of London and surrounded by Epping Forest. It takes about 40 minutes to travel from Epping to the Bank Station on the Central Line. The cost of an annual season ticket to London terminals from Epping is £2,812. Properties in Epping had an overall average price of £667,500 over the last year, so not cheap, okay? But definitely worth living in. The majority of sales in Epping during the last year were semi-detached properties selling for an average price of £672,850. Terrace properties sold for an average £639,000 and flats sold for £371,188. Overall, sold prices in Epping over the last year were up 8% from the previous year and 12% from the 2020 peak of £596,292. For those renting, a one bed goes for an average cost of £1,167 per month, a two bed for £2,399 per month, and a three bed for £2,104 per month. Again, up on the screen is a summary, so feel free to pause and check out. In terms of what's renting right now, there are 19 properties for rent in Epping, with only 3 listed in the last 14 days. So this is not a renter's market at all. In terms of crime rates, there are 87 crimes per 1,000 people. In terms of schools, there are 11 schools or colleges within 3-mile radius of Epping, and only one of them, though, is rated as outstanding by Ofsted. For shopping, Epping has active market days. There's also Epping Forest Shopping Park to check out. But in summary, Epping is a great area for families with children or couples and also single people. Epping Forest District's location also makes it an ideal visitor destination, and its London Underground connections make it perfect for day trips.
Next is Gravesend, Kent. Now, Gravesend is a town in northwest Kent situated 21 miles east-southeast of Charing Cross. It takes about 47 minutes to travel from Gravesend to London Bridge Station on the southeastern. The cost of an annual season ticket to London terminals from Gravesend is £6,056. Properties in Gravesend had an overall average price of £331,144 over the last year. The majority of sales in Gravesend during the last year were terraced properties, selling for an average price of £317,255. Semis sold for an average of £386,212, with flats fetching £194,868. Overall, sold prices in Gravesend over the last year were 1% up on the previous year and 7% up on the 2020 peak of £308,681. So for renters, a one-bed rents for an average cost of £850 per calendar month. A two-bed goes for £1,253 per calendar month, and a three-bed goes for £1,522 per calendar month. Again, we're going to put it up on the screen for you to check it out. For renters, there were 66 properties in rent in Gravesend, with only 19 properties listed to rent in the last 14 days. In terms of crime rates, there are 112 crimes per 1,000 people. And for schools, there are 50 schools or colleges within a 3-mile radius of Gravesend. 5 of them is rated as outstanding by Ofsted, and 2 of those 5 outstanding schools are grammar schools. So in terms of shopping, St. George's Shopping Mall is conveniently situated in the heart of Gravesend. So for those essentials in life, you'll find a large choice of popular high street names, including Boots, Derby H. Smith, Argos, and many more. In summary, move to Gravesend if you're looking for affordable property prices below 400k, and it's ideal for couples or families with children, and also ideal for single professionals looking to buy a place that's affordable and not too far from London by train.
Right, so next we're off to Hawley in Surrey. Hawley is a small, busy town of over 20,000 people situated almost halfway between London and Brighton on the south coast. It takes about 37 minutes to travel from Hawley to London Bridge Station on the Southern or Thameslink. The cost of an annual season ticket to London terminals from Hawley is £3,900. Properties in Hawley had an overall average price of £431,907 over the last year. The majority of sales in Hawley during the last year were semi-detached properties selling for an average price of £434,053. Detached properties sold for an average of £645,848, and flats went for £227,189. Overall, sold prices in Hawley over the last year were 5% up on the previous year and 11% on the 2020 peak of £390,543. For those who are renting, a one-bed rent for an average cost of £996 per calendar month, 2 beds for £1,369 per month, and 3 beds for £1,745 per month. Again, up on the screen is a summary. Feel free to pause and take a look. For properties that are renting right now, 19 properties are renting as at the time of making this video, with only 5 listed in the last 14 days. So this is definitely not a big renters market. For crime rates, there are 58 crimes per 1,000 people, and for schools, there are 17 schools or colleges within 3-mile radius of Hawley, but only one of them is rated as outstanding by Ofsted. For shopping, Hawley Town Centre has a great range of shops, cafes, pubs, restaurants. The pubs in the centre of Hawley serve food and drinks all day, and some have live music, quiz nights, or events in the evenings. In summary, Hawley is quiet and affordable for Surrey. People typically choose Hawley if they can't quite afford Redhill, or they want a bigger property than they would get in Redhill. It also has good transport links into London.
Speaking of Redhill, number 9 is Redhill in Surrey. Redhill is a town in the borough of Reigate and Banstead within the county of Surrey. It's due south of Croydon in Greater London and is part of the London commuter belt. It takes about 31 minutes to travel from Redhill to London Bridge Station by the Thameslink. The cost of an annual season ticket to London terminals from Redhill is £3,900. Properties in Redhill had an average overall price of £496,547 over the last year. The majority of sales in Redhill during the last year were flats, selling for an average price of £274,100. Semis sold for an average of £530,546, with terrace properties fetching £424,939. Now, for those of you who are renting, 1-bedroom rents for an average cost of £1,083 per calendar month. 2-bed rents for an average cost of £1,501 per calendar month, and a 3-bed for £2,115 per calendar month. We're going to put it up on the screen for you to pause and check it out. Now, there were 78 properties for rent in Redhill, with 20 properties listed to rent in the last 14 days. Now, in terms of crime rate, there were 61 crimes per 1,000 people. And for schools, there are 35 schools or colleges within a 3-mile radius of Redhill. 6 of them is rated as outstanding by Ofsted. For shopping, Redhill has attractive Victorian buildings alongside modern architecture. The Belfry Shopping Centre is home to a range of major retailers including Marks & Spencer's, Boots, WH Smith and Topshop to name a few, as well as a range of smaller shops catering for your everyday needs. In summary, move to Redhill for its proximity to London. There are trains running constantly and the station is under an hour from King's Cross. If you work in South London and would prefer not to live in South London, Redhill is an attractive alternative.
Number 10 is Chatham in Kent. Chatham is a town located within the Medway Unitary Authority in Kent. It takes about 41 minutes to travel from Chatham to London Bridge by Southeastern. The cost of an annual season ticket to London terminals from Chatham is £6,620. Properties in Chatham had an overall average price of £292,140 over the last year. The majority of sales in Chatham during the last year were terraced properties selling for an average of £269,043. The semis went for £326,754, with flats fetching £178,345. Overall, sold prices in Chatham over the last year were up a modest 2% on the previous year, but 11% on the 2020 peak of £263,089. For renters, a 1-bed goes rent for an average of £941 per calendar month, 2 beds for £1,307 per month, and 3 beds for £1,360 per month. Again, up on the screen is a screenshot to pause and take a look at. For properties renting right now, 156 properties are available to rent in Chatham, of which 50 properties listed in the last 14 days. In terms of crime rates, there are 119 crimes per 1,000 people, and looking at schools, there are 92 schools or colleges within 3-mile radius of Chatham. 10 of them are rated as outstanding by Ofsted, and there are also 4 grammar schools locally. For shopping, there is the Pentagon Shopping Centre, among many other shopping outlets in Chatham. And in summary, you should move to Chatham because it's still absolutely affordable and has great connections into London. Whew! Feels like a massive marathon.
It was.
In summary, it's clear that there are still lots of places that first-time buyers, people who are renting, people who want to do a mix of work from home and commute can check out outside of London. And some of those places are still fairly affordable today. Okay, so we hope you found today's video super useful. If you have, we'd love for you to jump in and comment, react. Please subscribe to the channel and please like the video and share with other people, because we're doing this work and going into so much detail because we really want to help people make great decisions about their money.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. And as ever,
in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care, people.
Bye.
Bye.